All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Ron. I'm an alcoholic. Welcome to the Conscious Contact Speaker Group of Doylestown. A couple quick announcements. I guess most of you are familiar. We have a Facebook page. It's a great way to keep us connected, not only with this group, but keep people connected all up and down the East Coast. There's all kind of stuff going on there. There's recordings on there. There's Zoom meetings. Any events or anything that's going on in AA that you find, please post there so others can use it as a means of connecting. So there's always something going on in AA, and it's a great way to keep connected on that. So put your stuff in there and go there and look. There's no reason to ever be bored in AA. And one more thing. In this room here, Monday night, 6 p.m., it's a step meeting, 30-minute speaker, different speaker each week, then 30-minute open for share. And our sister group, of course, is a big book study that meets on Thursdays, right over there at Salem UCC Church, 186 East Court Street. And we like that big book. We like to read it. We like to see what we can extract out of it and apply it to our lives and try to get some of the results and the promises that the original 100 members got. So hopefully if you're not enjoying AA and you're not enjoying sobriety, come see us. Hopefully we can show you a way out. It's worked for us and we love it. Anyway, what else I got to do? I always forget something. Don't forget tonight. Help us eat those hot dogs, those cronuts, those donuts. We got a boatload of those things. We don't want to take them home with us, and it's a guarantee to be healthy. No byproduct. Look at me. I've been eating them for years. And I've only got one head. Anyway, Nick's going to come up here and share. Let's have some fun tonight. Thanks.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Nick. I'm an alcoholic. Welcome to the Conscious Contact Speaker Group of Alcoholics Anonymous. This is a one-hour speaker meeting that meets every Saturday evening at St. Paul's Lutheran Church, 301 North Main Street at 8:30 p.m. in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Food and fellowship starts at 8 p.m. The business meeting for this group meets every Saturday at 7 p.m. to 7:30 right here. The purpose of this group is to provide a consistent message of hope and recovery through God reliance and service to others through the practice and teaching of the 12 steps. We record all speakers so that others may benefit from their message of recovery. If you wish not to be recorded, simply ask. This is an open meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. The group would like to welcome everyone, especially newcomers. Is there anyone new or from out of town that would like to introduce themselves with their first name? Yes, sir.
My name is Mario. I'm an alcoholic.
Welcome, Mario.
Adrian, alcoholic.
Welcome. Welcome.
Hey, John, I'm a great recovering alcoholic.
Hey, John, welcome. Yes, sir.
Steve, I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Steve, welcome. All right, welcome everybody. The Conscious Contact Speaker Group encourages sponsorship. Would anyone with working knowledge of the 12 steps and is willing to sponsor, please raise your hand. Excellent. Are there any announcements from the floor for the good of AA? We have meeting lists and big books on easy terms. Please see myself or any home group member after the meeting. If you cannot afford a big book, the Conscious Contact Speaker Group will give you one at no charge. And tonight we're offering a special deal. We will actually pay you $20 to take a big book if you can't afford it. Anyone willing to make donations for the purchase of Big Book and CDs to help those who can't afford them can put donations in the jar on the table marked Big Book and CD donations. If you would like a CD of any speaker, past or present, please see me or any home group member before or after the meeting. They're available free of charge. And with that, I have Kara come up and read the AA Preamble.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kara, and I'm an alcoholic. Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad you all could come. So good to see this room filled. I'm going to read the preamble. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help other alcoholics to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues, fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help alcoholics to achieve sobriety. Now I'm going to ask Teresa to come up and read the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Teresa, and I'm an alcoholic. The AA 12 steps of recovery. 1, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Now Nick is going to come back up.
We have a stubborn tradition which states every AA group ought to be fully self-supported and declining outside contributions. At this time, we would like to pass the baskets. We have no dues or fees, but we do have expenses. This group provides many services, and your donations cover rent, big books, CDs, events, and workshops. There is absolutely no smoking on church property. Please take a moment to silence all cell phones and limit movement during the meeting to avoid distractions. Now to introduce our speaker, a good friend of the Conscious Contact Speaker Group from the We Care group of Barnegat, New Jersey, Artie M.
Yes, it's my water, guys. Artie alcoholic. Hi, guys. John, my man John here took a ride with me a couple hours up here from Jersey Shore, going in the wrong direction on a summer Saturday. But, I thank Ron for asking me. It's always an honor to speak for Alcoholics Anonymous. I mean, it's a big part of my sobriety. And without doing service, I wouldn't be sober. It's that simple. My story, as you can tell, I have extensive experience with the Philadelphia area. And it's like, you guys sound like you're from Philadelphia, even though I was talking to a Yankee fan there. You say house, you got a family going on a lot here, and as you can tell, I'm sporting a great Jersey City accent. Hey, you guys, how you doing over here, So, and that's where I'm from. What a shocker, right? I'm from Jersey City, New Jersey. I was born and raised in Hudson County. I was born in Christ Hospital in Jersey City. I was raised in Jersey City Heights. I went to North Bergen. I went to Catholic Grammar School from K to 8 in Union City. Sounds like I'm a world traveler. But anyone that's from the area, if you throw a rock in one direction, you're in one town. If you throw a rock in the other direction, you're in the other town. It's all of that happens between the Holland and Lincoln tunnels. If you look at it right on the cliff there, that's where I'm from. Yesterday was my birthday. Double nickels, turned 55 years old. Very good. And when I grew up in Hudson County, it was like basically a working class town. Everybody was middle class, lower middle class. No one was poor, and no one was rich. Everyone pretty much had the same thing. We all lived in 2 family houses. My grandparents lived downstairs, and we lived upstairs. And every one of my friends in the neighborhood lived in exactly the same conditions. Everyone's dad was either a cop or a fireman. My dad was an electrician, or there were plumbers, or guys that worked down the docks, or truck drivers. Or back then, working at Acme or a ShopRite was a man-paying job, and you could raise a family on it. It wasn't a kid job back then. So we had people like that. I grew up with Dora Test Light Bulb Factory across the street from my house. So, when I listen to like Paul Simon's song, My Little Town, racing my bike across the gates of the factory, Mom hanging laundry out on the dirty breeze, I could identify with that song. That's exactly what I grew up with. There were no cell phones, there were no computers, there were no video games when I grew up. Basically, now, everyone's afraid, right? The whole world's afraid, and like they raise their kids. Brandon and Ryan need to get together to get a play date, so it's a safe place so we can get, together. Our parents kind of just like opened the door in the morning and said, don't come back till the lights are on, and don't come back after the lights are on. And we ran in the streets like flocks of, it was almost like, the Serengeti movies, with the antelopes going. Every once in a while, a lion would grab one, That was like what you had there. It's like, oh, how many did we have when we started? 38. What do we got like 36? Okay, not a bad count today, So that was like pretty much what I grew up with. Talk about survival of the fittest. That was the deal. But, it was not a bad upbringing. I went to Catholic school. I was taught right from wrong. I bought in right away. My story, and this isn't for everybody in AA. Some people got a God issue and this and that, and you'll hear my story. I think everybody can build that up in their heart as well. We were listening, I made John listen to a torturous ride for this poor guy. Young guy had to listen to old guy music from Barnegat to Doylestown. Can you imagine how horrendous that is? I guess all my self-centered nature didn't go away, huh, John? But one of the songs I made him listen to, you remember that iTunes thing where YouTube put their songs on everybody's iPad? Did anyone ever listen to it? No, everyone hated it, right? Because they made us do it. All the drunks did. I didn't listen to it for like 3 or 4 years. And I was sober already. I was like, I ain't listening to this. They ain't making me listen to it. Well, I listened to it. One of the songs is called Cedar Road. It's about a childhood home in a town that was a war zone. It's from northern Ireland. And basically the song is how in his heart he never left his home. And the end of the lines is, a heart that is you can't return from where you never left. He goes, a heart that's broken is a heart that's open. And my story is pretty much that. You can't return from where you never left. A heart that's broken is a heart that's open. So, like I said, back to the story. I'm in Hudson County. I'm a little Catholic school kid. I always feel like I'm different. I always feel like I don't fit in. I always feel like I'm not good enough. I don't make the grade. Where I grew up, that would not be a good thing to, be open about, to tell everybody. I really don't feel like you're doing the right thing to me. It was a little rough back then, it was not going to go. One of the activities we would do, other than like breaking windows or, playing stickball till we broke a window, or, we would stand on someone's stoop and make fun of each other. That was like an activity that we did. We'd stand and break each other's chops. So I learned how to do inventory very early. Yours. Best defense is a good offense. Stuff to the left hit. I'm left-handed. I always land the left hand right there. So very early I learned that Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver face. You talking to me? Nothing bothers me. Nothing you can say bothers me. So when they would try and land a punch, you get the face and then give the retort. But inside, the truth was, I already thought all that stuff was true. So every time you landed a punch, it landed. And I thought that, and it bothered me. But I would never tell you that, ever tell you that. So, blatant dishonesty and putting on a front was something I learned very early, right in my neighborhood, in my very good neighborhood. My parents were not alcoholics. My grandparents downstairs were not alcoholics. But when I grew up, there was a corner bar on every single corner of where I grew up. It was woven into the fabric of life, drinking. Drinking was everywhere and in every part of life. Men drink. You work hard, you can drink hard, you get up the next day and you be a man and you do the right thing and you go to work, and that's it. That's what men do. Men drink down the corner bar. Okay, fine. So that's programmed into my head. Okay, we're not going to do that, right? I'm now breaking my own rule. Getting FaceTimed by somebody. Good time.
So it was, you never, in my brain, a bar's okay, drinking's okay. It's a corner bar. My grandfather used to go to the corner bar. And he would, he'd be sitting next to his friend Chicky. My grandfather didn't really say anything. He would just kind of stare and drink his beer. And his best friend Chicky, he wasn't like a foreigner or anything, but Chicky didn't speak English. I mean, I never understood a word Chicky was saying. He spoke Chicky, whatever that is. He was nice man. And he hands you like a quarter. Okay, thanks, Chicky. Okay, good. Chicky's good. Chicky worked at one of those commercial bakeries that the diners used to use. Remember the square old diner bread that you bite and slap you in the face so the sandwich wouldn't even stay on there? He used to bring that as peace offerings to my family. We still had an ice box when I was a kid. So he'd go, and hand the Chicky. We'd take the Chicky bread and we would freeze Chicky bread. So de-iced Chicky bread is what I would have my sandwiches at lunch from. So, I had nightmares about Chicky bread. But Chicky was a good guy, and he used to allow us into the corner bar, and he'd give you a quarter, and you'd play shuffle bowling, or they'd do Jiffy Pop for you, and they'd pop right there, and wow, this is magic, a bar. I can't wait to go to a bar. I love bars. Bars are wonderful. And men go to bars. They told me it's okay. You never want to be a bum, though. If you're a bum, that's no good. The bum is the guy, you take the number 1 bus down to Journal Square to go to New York, to get to the fast train. The guy you step over to get into the train, that's a bum. You don't want to be that bad. If you're not that bad, you're not an alcoholic. It's okay. So that's what's in my head going into life. Again, I was taught right from wrong. I'm Catholic, so I know I'm always wrong. So it was perfect. It was great. So I grew up with this. My parents got divorced early when I was a kid. I didn't feel like I fit in. Now, that, doesn't sound like a big deal now, but in 1973, it was a pretty big deal. That wasn't really commonplace. So I used to have the nuns who were well-intentioned and nice. I have no bad experiences with. They would make me stay after to make sure I was okay. Are you okay? What did I do wrong? I want to go play with my friends. You didn't do anything wrong, honey. It's not your fault. Okay, well, I don't know what this means. I just want to go play ball and break rocks and call people names. Can I do that? No, you can't. You stay after. Again, it made me feel different. We used to, I had to work through Ron made me wear a suit here. That was not my standard thing. It's the last time I wore a suit. I think was it when I was in Catholic school? No, it wasn't that. I've worked through that resentment. No, anyway, but. Yeah, we have to wear ties and we had to wear jackets to school, and the regular kids in the regular school couldn't, didn't have to. Well, what you guys are wearing, and I wanted to wear what you guys want to wear. I wanted to be like the other kids. I didn't want to stick out. I didn't want to, dress up. I didn't want to be picked on after school. But all of that stuff happened, and I carried all of that stuff with me. And again, never told anybody about it because I had the, Robert De Niro face. My parents were divorced because my dad moved down the shore. Where I am now, Barnegat, right in Ocean Acres, where our home group is. Sunday at 7:30. If anybody wants to take a 2-hour plug for the group, right? But so he moved down there, so I used to do weekends with Pop down the shore, and on weekdays we're up north. So I went down the shore when I was in high school to live with my dad. With my North Jersey accent. I'm a sophomore in high school, and I go not feeling like I fit in up there. I go down with the, hey, how you guys doing? And I move to South Jersey, and they're like, how y'all doing? Want to go hunting, fishing, surfing? No. You want to break windows and call each other names? No. I said, where did I go in South Jersey? Arkansas? How south is this Jersey, But, there I moved, and I wanted to try and fit in, so I kind of went where I thought the cool kids were the people that played sports. Because up north, we played baseball and football and this and that. So, that's the group I migrated towards. And I played sports, and that's when really I started drinking. In my early teens, we used to do keggers. We would go down the beach and have parties. To whoever's mom and dad were out for the weekend, we would be in their house and destroy your house. Or we'd go in the woods with a keg of beer. I learned to play really, really helpful games that affected the rest of my life in a positive fashion. Things like quarters. I could play quarters really well. I was really good at that. And my first experiences with drinking were not, the elixir of the gods. I feel great, and I'm going to do this the rest of my life. I mentally wanted to be in the bar. I wanted to be in the scene. But, my first experiences were alcohol. It was like a badge of honor to drink when I was a kid. Like, if you could drink a lot, you were cool. You wanted to say you could drink a lot. How many could, the idea of a lot back then was not what it turned out to be. How many cats? I could drink like eight beers. I could drink 8 beers. So everyone could drink 8 beers. So we're going to do 8 beers. So 12 guys would get a case of beer, which is 24 beers, and we all drank 8. It's amazing. Honesty is staggering, right? I don't know if anyone can do the math, but that's not 8 beers. And I went along with, I drank 8. I drank my 8. I don't know where they came from. We didn't drink them. I drank the first one, spilled the second one, and hung out with the gang. And that was my beginning of my drinking career on the weekends. And then, one would turn to 3, turn to 5, and turn to... So now, being from Hudson County, I got my driver's license when I was 17, and 21 was the drinking age. I just missed the rolling up from 19 to 21. And I altered my driver's license so I could get served. So I became very popular, which I liked a lot, because I would be the guy I could go get the drinks and beers. So I would, take it, get an extra $1 off everybody for the 6-packs that they wanted. We were going to go down to the beach and I'd get mine for free, and I'd wind up with $5 or $6 extra. And we always wanted girls at the party, but no one ever thought of the girls. They only got their beers. The party had no food and just your own booze. So I don't know what these guys think we were going to do, but we would invite girls. So I would try and get beer for the girls. The only thing I could get was some bottles that didn't look really bad, like a brown bag, with this thing called Stegmeyer beer. $4.99 a cold case of bottles. Or you could have the very, very fashionable Steg Light. Steg Light was available as well for $4.99 a case. So I would get a case of Steg and a 6-pack of Heineken I drank at the time. So I would be drinking Heineken. Hello, my dear. Would you like an imported Stegmeyer? Sure. Would you drink that? No, I don't drink the good stuff. I save it for you. Here you go. So that was my scheming and plotting beginning, and I would drink, and that would be the weekends. And one 6-pack, they turned a 12-pack, and sometimes I'd overshoot the mark, and now I started getting drunk once in a while. The room would spin, I'd throw up. But again, I always wanted to fit in, and it was always cool. Like, if I got drunk, there was no repercussions or anything bad. Like, oh, you were funny last night. I was? Yeah, you were funny. You were great. Oh, you threw up. It was awesome. It was, you were wonderful. Oh, it was great. I threw up. It's great. I did good. I threw up. I don't know why that's good, but I'm good. So now I'm drinking a little more. I had no real issues through high school. I look at my early drinking as fun. I break my drinking up into 3 categories. There was fun, some fun, and then no fun at all. The fun stage of drinking was this. I always got the girl, always got the undetected crime. I was always cool at the end. And, there was no problem drinking. I loved drinking. As I look back now, I could see a pattern where if I had a few, I could... I started acting differently. I would be more calm. I wouldn't feel that awfulness that I was talking about a little while ago. I wouldn't feel like I didn't fit. I feel like I fit if I hit a certain stage. But I didn't know it then. I would overshoot the mark, undershoot the mark, whatever it was. There was no mark that I thought of. But as I look back now, if I had a few, I could talk to the pretty girl. I could tell a joke. I could, speak in front of people. I would never do that normally. Or I, sing and dance. I can't sing and dance, but I sang and I danced. I did not care. And that is where alcohol was doing things for me, not to me at the beginning, which is what made me fall in love with this stuff. Right? The more I did it, the more I wanted it. This stuff is all good. I'm cool. I'm always great. Nothing's bad. I can talk to pretty girls. What a tool. This is good stuff over here. Only do this stuff. Not thinking about it, but wanting to fit in and going in. So now I went through high school. My dad went blind when I was 18 years old. I was going to actually go to the University of Pennsylvania Business School, but I became a union electrician instead and went back up north and back after 3 years to the weekends down the shore, and then during the week I would stay with my grandmother, and I would get apartments up there. And that became my life, the weekends down the shore and the weekdays up north for the rest of my drinking. When I first got in the union, it was old school, it was 1980s. I don't want to horrify anybody now because there's no tolerance, and guys walk around in orange spacesuits, and there's no drinking on the jobs, and everything's safety and all good. When I got in, it was construction sites were like that game Mousetrap, like you had all the things in the refrigerator. You'd put the little thing and it'd go, and somehow the ball would come out. Somehow the building would get built and no one died. They were drinking, drugging, everything. We had a beer guy walking around in the middle of it. I have no idea how people didn't get killed, but you didn't even think about it. It was all over the place there. And the old timers were like, I don't trust anyone I can't drink with, and I ain't training any kid I don't trust. Now I wanted to be cool, and I drank on the weekend, but I didn't drink like these guys. But they would bring me out now, I'd cash my check at the bar, have lunch at the bar, and things like this. Now I'm drinking more. And then in my late 20s, I wound up having a daughter, and me and Mom didn't get along too good, but I kind of liked the kids, so my kid got what I got, which was weekend dad and not a full-time dad. And I wound up in the office, taking clients out and generating business, which is a great job to give a drunk, So I would take clients out, and I would do good. And I call this part, this was my late 20s to my mid-30s, the some fun part. It sounds like it should be more fun than even the beginning. I had a lot more dollars. I would peruse Wine Spectator magazine and drink real fancy stuff because that was really good. Even though I still like red wine, it turned my lips blue and I still threw up. It was okay, as I still was drinking too much, and I'm drinking more, and then now the next mornings are starting to not feel too good in my 30s. They ain't like the 20s. 30s is pretty rough. So the way I describe it is George Carlin used to do a thing with like the difference between dogs and cats. Dogs always act guilty, like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. They have eyebrows, but cats are like cold. They act like everything's cool. It's supposed to be like that. Cats are cool, right? Cat dives off the armchair and smashes his face on the sliding glass window because he doesn't know it's closed. He just kind of stares. That's cool. I meant to do that. Then he goes behind the couch, goes, meow. Oh, that's me the next morning. I'm cool. Oh, what's going on here? So now my demeanor at work is no good. I'm barking at everybody. I feel good. And now drinking ain't doing nothing for me. It ain't doing too much to me yet, but it's starting to. So it ain't fun no more. It's some fun, right? It's starting to get in the way a little bit. But, it's part of my job, and I have to do it because it's part of my job. And after all, without me, they're not going to get any kind of business. I'm who I am. I'm really good at this. Let me tell you. So to the bar I went. So this went on, and I remember this went on for like 10 years. And I had this little conditioners problem, that developed. Because I liked bars. I was in bars for a long time. I had this condition. It was called magnetic acid. So what would happen is you go in a bar, you order something, take a drink, and your ass was melted to the seat, and you couldn't get up. And it's a terrible condition. It lasts many hours sometimes. And at the end of my drinking, it lasted days. Magnetic acid. Please don't get it. Terrible stuff. But I had it, and I had it bad. Once I started, I didn't know when I was going to stop. And this started going through my head here, because my drinking with the customers went from, these guys are drunks, I got to get away from them. When I was 28, by the time I was 38, it was like, these guys are lightweights. I got to get away from these guys so I can drink. The only problem is they're the same guys. So I drank my way past them. And, people debate, are you born an alcoholic? Do you cross the line? I have no idea. I just know that I had a big company at one time. I was living a rock and roll lifestyle. I was the guy with the thing. I thought I was hot stuff. And then now things in my late 30s are starting to go away. The big company becomes a small company. I'm not doing as well, not feeling as well, not showing up now. And things are getting worse and worse. So now I don't want to drink anymore. Now I really figured out probably it's not a good idea if I go in the bar. I can't drink if I'm in the bar. But I really love the bar. Remember, they have Jiffy Pop there. It's really good. So I got to go to the bar, get the Jiffy Pop. Where am I going to go? Well, my friends are in the bar. What am I going to do? Got to go to the bar. So I go to the bar. Give me a ham sandwich. I could be like the guy in the big one. Give me the glass of milk. I'll wash that down with a glass of milk. I'm a milk guy. I was, give me a Diet Coke. Johnny was giving me all the terrible things about aspartame today. This is very bad for you. You should not have aspartame. Well, I already quit the thing that's really bad for me, but leave me alone. So I'm having my Diet Coke, and instead of my beer, and I would do that once or twice, like, how could one Coors Light hurt me? I guess one Coors Light couldn't hurt me, but with this magnetic gas that I had developed, I never had one Coors Light. You know, it would move off to the races. And it would fool me, because I wasn't a daily. So like one time, I'm going in for 2 or 3. Okay, that's all I'm going to have. And then I go in, and I would have 2 or 3, and I go home. And then the next time, I'm going in for 2 or 3. And I'd go in, I'd have 2 or 3, and then I'd have 5 dozen more. And there was no mental difference between the two. I had like no control. And I must have, in the bottom of my heart, knew I had no control. Because my daughter I referred to, I used to get on the weekends, and I would never pick one up in front of her. Because in my head, I knew if I had one, what the hell's going to happen to this little girl? So my daughter grew up knowing I was unreliable, knowing I was crazy, but never saw me drink. So I'll get to that in a minute. So all of this happens. The big company's gone. This is gone. Now I'm living this almost Groundhog Day life. I don't know if anyone saw that movie. You see Groundhog Day? It's basically about a guy who relives the same day over and over and over again. And, you know, he starts the day, he knows it's the same day, because he has this little clock radio, and it plays Sonny and Cher's I Got You, Babe. Babe, I got you, babe. And he wakes up and hits the thing. And that's what my life was becoming. Babe, I got you, babe. Here we go. Here we go again. Here we go again. I don't want to play, but playing I'm doing. And it ain't feeling like playing. It feels like hell. And I'm just living this existence. And I'm doing things, you know, that Catholic school thing. I never not believe that. I was the type of drunk that would go to Mass 4 days a week and then go drink for 3 on a tear. And was totally confused. We talked about the befuddled one in the book. That was me. I would pray to God every week, and then I would do exactly what I wanted to do. And I would go. Pray. And as this happened, I'm getting angrier and angrier at God. And my heart is breaking. And I don't know what to do. Because that was my only answer, and I believed to him. So I started believing that I was a lie. So the other song we listened to that I made you listen to was Bruce Springsteen's The River. Is a dream a lie if it don't come true, or is it something worse? So I was living this, and I was getting more and more miserable, even though my outward circumstances seemed steadily bad, but steady. And on July 25th, 2010, so I just celebrated 11 years, I dropped my bottle, and I was ready to kill myself. I was living, I have a pretty nice house down the shore, and I had it then. My dad, who's blind, lives there. And I would want to spend all my time in my 500 square foot apartment that was a block away from the bar I hung around with. And I was upset. The work picture was bad. I had to leave the bar and go back down the shore to my 5,000 square foot house. That was like killing me. And I couldn't take it. I was going to kill myself. You know, and that's where my drinking led me. Catholic school boy wants to kill himself. And the worst thing you could do if you have that religion is to kill yourself. So I had lost hope. It just about went out. So my last drunk was no different than the last 500. I mean, there's no discernible difference between them. It was just the same thing. Groundhog Day was just going for 5 or 6 years. That was the no fun portion of the drinking. No fun at all. I didn't want to drink, but I was powerless and didn't know it, and just kept going. Kept going. Against my own will. So, July 25th, for I know reason, grace, I looked up to God and I said, that's it, buddy. I've been defending you all these years. Like he needed my defense. I had a half a head of curly hair. God kind of took the middle. 7-day growth. Looking very much like Lon Chaney. I'm the wolf man. And I'm barking at God. I said, you don't show me something, I'm going on top of the Bayonne Bridge and I'm jumping. So, When that happened, a couple minutes later, a phone rang. It's my friend Frank. Frank's an electrician I've known my entire career. He had 13 years in the program when he called that day. I talked to Frank almost every other day. He would never talk about AA. My Uncle Jeff is in AA. He just celebrated 36 years. He's has 25 at the time we're talking. And I would avoid him like the plague. He started the program to help drunks in the union. He had hundreds of guys he helped. He spent his whole life helping people and doing nice things. And so I didn't want to talk to him. That guy was nuts. I didn't want to talk to him. He was crazy. He was part of the pod people. You people. I didn't want to be like you. I didn't want to learn how to be a zombie and eat brains. I ain't doing it. You ain't making me be one of you guys. As long as I'm not one of you guys, I'm okay. You know, after all, I'm not that bad, right? Not the guy I stepped over. Except, and I really am honest about it, in that bar, my last bar was Schools. Remember, I wanted to be cool. So I'm in these Schools, and when I was 20 years old, I used to be the kid cashing a check at the end and run away. By the middle of my career, I was the guy in the middle, acting like a hotshot, buying everybody drinks. But when I ended my drinking, I was sitting next to the guy that sat under the television and muttered to himself that no one would talk to. So I drank my way down every one of those bar stools, all the way down. And his name is Fredo. God bless your soul, Fredo. He's no longer with us because of this disease. And I don't want to say drunks, isolated, or whatever. You know how like you get your message on your phone and you have reached whatever number you have. You know, I don't know what the exchange is here. Was it 610 or something like that? Right? Or ours was 609. Over there is 201. No. His didn't say any of that. Fredo's message was, go away. That's all it said. I was saying, go away. So I was with go away guy was my friend. And in all my arrogance, my other friend, Clay, and I, 2 weeks before, I don't know if I set the seed for myself, because I'm still going to church. But Clay and I took Fredo out to a Spanish restaurant that had sangria, of course, because we didn't want to be hard about it, to talk to Fredo about his drinking, because he was doing 3 drunks a day. And we were sure one was sufficient. One drunk a day is sufficient, Fredo. You should really worry about your drinking. And he looked at us and goes, how could 2 drunks like you tell me about my drinking? And we just ordered another pitcher of sangria, and that was the end of that talk. But these things I remember now that I'm not drunk anymore. And they're like the little seeds that were put in my life all the way through. And I would go to the church, and I thought God didn't answer my prayers. But that day, Frank called me, and he asked me something he never asked me. He said, hey, Artie, do you want help? And I said, yeah, Frank, I need help. I can't do this anymore. Where'd that come from? Right? That it's not me. That's not Robert De Niro. That ain't happening. Right? So, and he said, well, listen, what's going on? I saw in a week I'm losing the department. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do without my friends. Now, me and Frank wasn't a big God guy. He was mad at God. His wife had died through malpractice and left him with 4 kids the year before. So me and him used to have the weirdest conversations ever. I'd be drunk as a hoot owl, and I'd be going, he'd be like, there's no God. I don't believe in the Easter Bunny. I don't believe in Santa Claus. I said, Frank, you can't say that stuff. He's going to get a lightning bolt right through your head. You can't say that, my God. He'd be like, I don't want to hear it. You know, but we were buddies for a long time. So that day, I'm like crying and carrying on, and you know. But that was after I said, Frank, are you one of them? No, I'm not one of them. And he laughed at me. And I was like, all right, then I'll talk to you. I was nuts. Lon Chaney going crazy, right? So I'm figuring it all out here. And Frank was my friend. I trusted Frank, and he said he was going to help me. So I told him, I'm getting rid of the thing. I have all these problems. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm leaving this apartment. The work's gone now, and now I'm going to be down the shore with the big house. I don't know how any of this is going to work out. What am I going to do? And he said to me, he goes, it's going to be really weird hearing it from me, but I need you to listen to me, because there is a God, and you're not him. And I was like, really? And for some reason that sunk in. And I said, okay, what do you want me to do? Because I want you to call this guy Jack, who lives in Lavalette. Okay? He lives down the shore. You can go to meetings with him. He was Jeff's first sponsor, my uncle's first sponsor. He's a really good guy. He's a truck driver. You'll like him. Retired. He's a good guy. I said, yeah, but Frank, I want you to help me. He goes, yeah, here's Jack's number. You're going to call Jack, and you're going to do, yeah, but Frank, I want you to help me. Yeah, I'm giving you Jack's number here, and you're going to call, but I want, just do what I tell you to do. I was like, okay, I will. So now, the old, I'm starting to feel better during the day. Lawn changed, hair sagging a little bit. I call up Jack, who lives in Lavalette. Hey, Jack, this is Artie. Frank told me to call you. Yeah, Artie. Yeah. I'm jumping off the Bayonne Bridge today. How are you doing? And he's like, I'm not doing that. I was like, oh, okay. Listen, I'm moving down the shore on Saturday. I'll be down. It's Monday. I heard you have these meeting things that you guys do. Maybe my people could get with your people. We could arrange one of these meeting things on Saturday or something if you're not doing anything. He goes, you're jumping off a bridge today and you want to go to a meeting Saturday. That's right. I want to do that. He goes, maybe you should go to a meeting today. Jack's a smart guy. So I was like, all right. So I said, I'm a healthy guy at this point, so I'm like, I don't know where a meeting is. Very nice response to this guy, I don't know. So then he says to me, he says, there's one on 4th Street in Bayonne. I said, how the hell did he know that? Was he a Magic Jack? So Magic Jack, I didn't know it was in a group book. I had no idea it was online. And wow, he's amazing, this guy. And I said, well, what time is it? 7 o'clock. I said, all right, I'll go. And I hung up the phone. I felt a little better. I didn't feel good, but I felt a little different. And maybe that flicker of hope went on. And then I went to, my buddy Jerry called me, and he said, listen, why don't you go down to the Cypress Tavern? Jesse's working, it's pretty good. Let's go see Jesse at Cypress Tavern. I said, Jerry, I'm going to go to AA. And he said that, now I didn't think I was really that bad. I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. Not like you guys, not that bad. But he said the same thing that everybody that was still in my life would say to me when I would sheepishly admit I was going to go to AA. He said, good for you. Good for me. I ain't that bad. He goes, no, AA might work for you. You should go to AA. Really? Yeah, okay, sure. So I was like, all right. He goes, listen, you go to Mount Carmel Church, don't you? I go, yeah, I do. He goes, well, why don't you go to Mount Carmel Church tonight? That's where my brother Dave goes. I said, that's where he's been. I haven't seen him in a while. Yeah, he goes to AA too. He's sober. He'll meet you over there. I said, I don't know. I got this guy Jack that I never met that I told I was going to jump over. He goes, who? I said, oh, nothing. I don't know if I can go. I'll call you back. I called Jack up. I'm like, Jack, can I go to the 23rd Street over to Mount Carmel Church? Just go to a meeting. I don't care where you go. I was like, all right. Call me when you're done. I said, all right. I'll call the mystery guy. I'm done. So I call the mystery guy. I get permission from the mystery guy to go to meet my friends. Hey, I'm going to meet you. I'm going to meet Dave over there, okay? So Jerry goes, okay, whatever. So I go there. Dave don't show. Right? Now I come in launching. Hope they don't think I'm new. I'm coming in. And some guy's got his back turned to me. I don't know if he smelled me or what. Turns around, puts his hand on his shoulder, and he said, brother, you never have to feel like this again. And I was like, wow. He looked right through me. I hated him. I hated you. I wanted to kill myself. I couldn't feel more uncomfortable in my skin, and he just called me right out. And he started talking AA talk. Hey, I'm going to be your TS. Hey, 20 years. 20 years in, 12 steps out. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, one day at a time, it's all good. And he's doing easy does it. He's doing all these things. I'm like, what is it? Just keep coming. I'm like, okay. He goes, but don't worry about it. You're helping me more than I'm helping you. I was like, you're retarded. I don't. What's this? Just come in. Then the other thing they kept asking, you want to go to detox? I'm like, no, why? Why do I want to go to detox? I'm not going to detox. I'm 1 day in, 20 days out. I don't know what I'm doing. Just keep coming. I know, yeah, I know. And I remember, I never went to that meeting again because I moved 5 days later. But it's where I went to church. And the guy who put his hand on my shoulder said, "Hey, you know Franny Murphy?" I said, "Yeah, I've been drinking with him the last 2 days. He's one of my buddies." He goes, "He's a no good SOB." I go, "Yeah, you're a no good SOB, so I'm going to beat him up. You know, I'm going to defend Fran's honor at the cult. I'm going to beat him up." And he starts laughing at me. He goes, "He's my brother." So I said my prayer. I cursed at God. Got a call from my friend that I've always had that talked about AA. He gave me a guy's number. I said yes, wound up at the church I started praying at with the brother of the guy I drank with. That's my story. Okay, now is that odd or God? You make up your own mind, but I know what I know. You know, a heart that's broken is a heart that's open. So I was open to see this stuff. And so I went around to this with this guy, Terry. Terry taught me what AA is all about. One man helping another man get another day of sobriety without any strings attached. Just selflessness. Ron handing out hot dogs and getting speakers from 2 hours away. And opening up the doors early. All the guys here going to things. Everybody wearing suits because it's a dignified, better way to do things. Those are good things. And that's being outside yourself. I couldn't see anything but myself when I came here. How bad I got it, how God done me wrong. I never looked at one of my mistakes. I never looked at one of my overreaches. And I certainly didn't look at magnetic gas, did I? I just put up with it. I put up with it all because I didn't know any better. So then I wound up going to meetings. This guy brought me to 10 meetings in 5 days, knowing I was moving away. And I kept saying, "Dude, I'm moving away. You can't get none of them. Because I'm from Hudson County. They should hand you 2 things if you're Irish Catholic from Hudson County. They should hand you a big book and a geometry book, because you're always figuring out the angle. So I'm figuring out this guy's angle. Was he over here, over there? What are you doing? What do you want from me? You're helping me more than I'm helping you," he kept saying. And I was like, "Please stop saying that. I'm going to stab you in the head. I hate you." Yeah, I understand you hate me, but we love you till you keep loving yourself. I'm like, what the hell are these people? I hate them. So they're all telling me they're doing the AA jargon, but I'm just coming back one day after another. I don't understand it all, but I'm willing to do it. So I'm doing what I didn't want to do. Turn my will and life over to God. I still think like a crackpot, so the will thing, I'm still will. But my life, what AA's taught me over the last 11 years, it's a different way to live, a different way to move my feet, a different way to handle myself, a different way to hold myself accountable, a different way to pray to the same God I always had. You know, the big book talks about tapping into the power. And that's my experience. I didn't know what powerless meant until that guy Jack became my sponsor. And he would take every Saturday and we would go over the book and do the steps. And then, he explained to me early that it's a lifelong process. That just because you learned how to do a free throw from Bobby Knight's book, you can free throws. You have to practice the principles in all your affairs. And practice takes time. One day at a time. One day at a time saved my life. One day at a time is like the biggest thing. It's amazing what one day at a time did for me. My uncle calls me a schemer and a plotter. I always fancied myself as someone that's smarter than everybody and I can outfigure you because I'm an angle guy, so I'm always trying to get ahead of you. So if I'm 5 moves ahead of you, I'm never going to get hurt by you. So I don't think you got to know me. I ain't got to tell you the truth. I ain't got to do nothing except outfigure where you're going to be and be there before you get there. And that's pretty much the way I ran my life. He calls it, "What are you, scheming and plotting?" I smell smoke. So you got to live in the day. You got to be one day at a time. You can't not drink forever. You just got to not drink today. And he goes, "You got a God, so go to God with help." And he goes, "We have steps that give you direction on how to do these things. So if you do what we do, you will get what we get." At my first meeting, other than the cloudy things, I wanted to punch this guy, Terry, who I love, in the head, the brother of the drunk, who I think he's sober now too, but I God help my dog. He was a nice guy, Frank. I think nothing but the best of him. What was I saying? Where was I? I think I was in Bayonne again, right? Yeah. So anyway, my sponsor took me through the book, took me through the work, and he has his work on the steps. And I was on service right away. I moved down the shore, And my sponsor's in Lavalette, and we would meet once a week, but I had to go to my own meetings. And we'd go to St. Stephen's, where my home group meeting used to be. And it was there for 50 years. And they had a lot of old-timers. This guy, Andy, Jim Flood, Brooklyn Bob, and a couple of ladies, Lorraine and Tootie. They've all passed now. But I hooked on to them like nobody's business. And I would listen to them and I would learn. And more important than anything is I would watch the way they lived. And then I would remember what I would learn, the steps with Jack. And I could emulate what a big book looks like from the people that act like that. And actions speak louder than words, or a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I was very blessed and graced with pictures of sobriety. This guy, Andy, became he wasn't my sponsor. Jack's my sponsor, still my sponsor. But this guy, Andy, would take me under the wing and he would listen to me. And I'm still a negative Nelly. I'm a monster. But I mean, he would listen to me and listen to me and listen to me whine and complain. I was not the sponsee that didn't call you, God help Jack. I was the guy that called you. And my nickname was Pam, Piss and Moan. Jack, this is no good. This is no good. Everything's no good. Okay. Where's the gratitude in that? I hate that word. It's the worst. This is terrible. It's not working. You haven't drank in a long time now. I don't know. It seems to be working. You have a job now. By the time I left when I was sober, my nickname was M.I.A. McCrae. I was a coin flip guy. Anyone that knows me up north, they all think I'm a good cat. I wasn't the hateful drunk. I was like the rub you on the head. I love you so much. Okay, please get off me. I was that guy. I wasn't the punch everybody in the head drunk. I was the lovey-dovey cry on you drunk. So I guess I was less annoying than the other, or at least, you didn't have to be on your toes as much. I don't know. So I didn't have a lot of enemies, and most people rooted for me. But I was just intolerable. I was unemployable. I didn't do the right thing ever. I was a coin flip guy. I'm going to come tomorrow. And when I met Andy, he explained to me, and it made a lot of sense. I'm not a bad guy. I'm a sick guy trying to get well. And Andy was a guy that worked in a food bank, worked at the homeless shelter across the street, took everybody to social services that was in the thing, and just smiled and laughed. And if you asked anything about Andy, he would say the same thing all the time. How you doing, Andy? Not too bad, not too bad. How's your mom? You okay? What can I do for you? And that was what he was. And me and him became very close. And I used to go on 12-step calls with him. And we would help other drunks. And we would take people to the hospital. And I would work at the food bank with him. And I would help with the homeless shelter there. And then Andy got sick. I got sober. I'm going one day at a time. I have 26 home groups. You're only supposed to have one. But down the shore, there's no activity in the group. So you just kind of wind up in a group because you're one of the 2 or 3 people that'll participate. But again, I was taught by people that actions speak louder than words. Practice the principles means do stuff, not say stuff. And so when AA calls, I say yes. I do it. Because I was killing myself and dying when I got here. I was not, doing well. It wasn't. Prospects weren't looking good. The stock futures weren't in my favor when I got here. I wasn't rolling in here on a winning streak. Hey, anybody want to go to AC with me? No one was betting on me, man, including me. And AA, this journey, has it all been roses and sunshine? It's been a lot of hard work. So a lot of things I don't want to do that I do on a regular and routine basis. But after 11 years, it's routine now. So when my brain goes squirrely, and I'm a little worse than most, that happens just about all the time. My feet don't get squirrely. I do the right thing because I was trained well. I do the right thing because I follow the outline. I do what I'm supposed to do, not what I want to do. Or the way I like to put it is, put others' needs in front of your wants. And that knot in my stomach, that feeling different, that lack of self-respect. Because I came in here, I thought pride was good, right? We're Americans, have pride. Don't you have pride? John Wayne had pride. Gun in his pride. I'm like, I want to be like John Wayne, And I always wanted to be a good little Catholic boy. I wanted to be the kid that got the little star. And I used to have to clap the erasers and go in the cloakroom because I put gum in Susie's hair. I just never did the right thing. I didn't do the right thing. I wanted to. So my intentions were always good. My actions were terrible. AA taught me to meet my intentions with my actions. One day at a time, to do the next right thing. And that's what I try to do, I was just watching Saving Private Ryan before I left here. And, I remember I would be on drunken runs, and I would yell out, all I want to be is a good man. All I want to be is a good man. I've never said this before, so I hope I don't get teary-eyed because it's hard. But at the end of that movie, basically the movie's about 8 soldiers that give their life to save one soldier. And the one soldier is Tom Hanks, is the guy that's the thing, and he's the leader, and he's dying. And the other guy's going to live, because now the cavalry showed up. And he looks at the kid Ryan and goes, James, earn this. Earn this. And he dies. So then it fades to the next scene. He's an old man standing in front of the cross of the guy that was dead. And he said, I've tried to live the rest of my life the best I can. And I tried to live a good life. And I hope, at least in your eyes, I've earned this. So his wife comes over and he says, tell me I'm a good man. She says, you are. What AA has done for me, it's turned me from a no account lout to a good man who shows up. There's no words for that, and there's no thing I could pay back for it. So I'm going to keep coming, and I hope you keep coming. And that's all I have. Thank you.
It's customary for us to form a line and thank our speakers. They come here at their own time and expense. Please take time to do that. If you want to give us a hand putting away these chairs, those tables and chairs stay back there, but all the loose chairs up here go in the rack. We got the meeting after the meeting. Please hang out with us and stay afterwards. We've got a nice way of closing if you care to join us. Let's take a moment of silence for the still sick and suffering, followed by the Lord's Prayer if you care to join us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Let's thank Artie one more time.